Hello and welcome to this episode of HBCU. I'm your host, Dee Brown, CEO. Joining me on the show today is a Louisiana power couple. Please help me welcome Floyd and Kourtni Luster to HBCU. Welcome to the program. I'm glad to have you all on.
All right, thank you. We're happy to be here.
So look, I want to start first by talking about Southern University in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Kourtni, I'm going to start with you. How did you select Southern?
I wanted to be a nurse, and I'm a Louisiana native, so Southern University has the best nursing school in the state. They have a history since its inception of being the best school in the state. And so that was my first choice. My second choice was FAMU, and my mom was like, you're staying in Louisiana. So.
Okay. So Floyd, what about you? How did you get to Southern?
Southern University, I first started at Kourtni Community College, which is also an HBCU. Graduated from there in 1996. Wanted to be an architect, researched the top HBCU, historically black architecture schools in the United States. Southern was my first choice, FAMU, so I guess it was gonna be inevitable for me and Kourtni to meet. And my third choice was Tuskegee. Once I graduated from Kourtni Community College, three of my classmates, they decided they were going to go to Southern University. Mm-hmm. So Southern University was my first choice.
So let me ask you a question. Was it important to you in your decision-making process to attend an HBCU? Was it something that you definitely...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was absolutely going to attend an HBCU.
What about you, Kourtni?
Yes, so my sister went to LSU, which is the Louisiana State University, but
Right.
my brother went to Southern and my other brother went to Grambling State University. So kind of come from a family of people who went to HBCUs.
Okay, so do you remember the first day you set foot on Southern University campus?
Yes.
What was that day like?
Long, extremely long day. I went off to college immediately after graduating. So it was June 4th of 1995.
Okay.
And there were long lines, and it was a little bit intimidating because I had never been away from home. I'm the youngest of four, and really the youngest. There's about 13, 12, and 9 years between myself and the other siblings, to the point where people thought I was the only child.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because they were gone. So it was intimidating. But after maybe about a week, I knew I made the right choice and I was where I should be.
Okay. So Floyd, what about you? Do you remember the first day you stepped foot on campus?
Yes, I remember the first day. Southern, is one of the largest historically black colleges and universities in the United States. So at that time, I think we had approximately 10,000 students. So just the environment of being around that amount of students was, was very exciting. And from the first time I stepped on that campus, I knew I was at the right HBCU, and just enjoyed every minute of it.
Now you two met at Southern. So what do you remember about meeting? How did y'all meet?
So there's a mutual friend who's his fraternity brother. And I met him one day early on when I was looking for a building. And he was like, you must be a freshman because you passed by 3 times and you look lost. And I was like, I am. I'm trying to find TT Lane. And so we became friends over time. I went from being the lost girl to, hey, this is my friend Kourtni.
Yeah.
And we went to a party. It was a hip hop party. And I passed by and they were saying, hey, are you going to stop? And I was like, I'm coming back. I'm going to go talk to a friend. And he was like, yeah, make sure you come back. And so I didn't go back because I didn't find my friend. But at the end of the party, he made a joke like, yeah, you didn't come back, and my friend said that I got shot down. So I think after that, it became a mission for him to get to know me, and the rest is history.
So Floyd, what do you remember about when you all first met?
Just like she said, we were at a hip hop party, and I noticed this young, beautiful woman passing by me, and I stopped and asked her name, and we shared numbers and started dating, and just one thing led after another one, and I'm just happy that I met her.
Happy you didn't go to FAMU.
Correct.
So talk about Southern campus. What are some of the unique things and experiences that they have on campus there?
You want to start?
Well, there's several different Greek organizations. There's university organizations. I was in a couple of pageants. The African American Women's Studies pageant was probably my first one. That was the fall of '95. I ran for Miss Senior. So there's a lot of student life, a lot of involvement. For years, we've had a co-op program where large companies come and they recruit, and it's something they take pride in, like Exxon, Dow Chemical. Louisiana has lots of refinery chemical plants, and so they recruit the engineering department heavily. The hospitals recruit the nursing department. I mean, there's always something going on, you know, from church involvement. Local churches are involved. I became a member of a church not far from the university because of their campus involvement. So they kind of give you an experience that it's your home away from home.
Right. So what about for you, Floyd? What do you remember?
I remember Southern University is located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, which is the capital of Louisiana. It's located on the Mississippi River. Very beautiful campus, you know, easily access it. And if you know anything about Baton Rouge, you know, LSU is there as well. So just the environment in Baton Rouge on Southern University campus, I always considered it was never a dull moment on campus. A lot of industry is there, so they support the university. Exxon, Mobil. We have a Cox Cable there. One of the largest industrial partners is there, Bernhard Capital Partners. Used to be the Shaw Group, so they're very influential in supporting Southern University. Very diverse campus, large, a lot of support from the business community, so that's what I enjoyed about it.
Okay.
The other thing for me was North Louisiana and South Louisiana are like day and night. So I grew up in North Louisiana. People are not as friendly. They kind of remind you of people on the East Coast. Everybody's in a hurry.
Yeah.
So all I remember is how friendly people are. Like everywhere you went, people were like, hey, good morning. Or like people would say, good morning, Shay. And I was like, that's not my name, but that's kind of like the French term to my friend.
Okay.
Good morning, my friend. So I remember being happy that I was somewhere where people were engaged and seemed really happy.
What about homecoming? What was homecoming like at Southern?
Oh, wow. Homecoming was, my freshman homecoming was the most amazing experience ever because so many parents, like there's so many third and fourth generation of college students that their parents, their grandparents went there. So the parents come to town, the RV lot is full. Yeah. There's the homecoming concert, there's several homecoming parties, there's the homecoming Greek show. The alumni come back and they have different spots. It's just like a huge family reunion. It's so much fun. I just remember it being one of my best experiences. And there's the band. Everybody's aware of the Human Jukebox.
Right.
And so our band is one of the best in the nation. And so it's always a good time.
Floyd, what about you? What do you remember most about homecoming?
Homecoming, best thing about homecoming for me was just reuniting with my old friends, old classmates, old fraternity brothers. That was one of the most exciting things about it. Very huge event. I really enjoyed the homecoming parade.
Yeah.
That was because we typically enter a float into the parade. So that's what I really enjoyed about the homecoming parade.
Yep. Now, Kourtni, I know you are a proud member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And Floyd, of course, you're my fraternity brother, member of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And I know you pledged at Southern University, Alpha Sigma chapter, and you went grad chapter. But what do you all remember about Greek life on campus?
Greek life on campus was exciting. So I had been a debutante for Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority back home, and I always knew that was something I was interested in. But if you know anything about the School of Nursing, they don't let you play. Once you're in the School of Nursing, it's kind of like you're here, and if you want to stay here and matriculate, you got to be about your business. And so time kind of ran out for me. I kind of fast-tracked myself, and that's probably the only regret I have. I finished at 21, and so I've been there 4 years and 1 semester. Yeah. And so I kind of missed that, but fortunately, some of my friends from there and her mom brought me into a grad chapter. That is the grad chapter near the campus,
Okay.
and we take care of the undergraduate chapter there.
Gotcha. Okay, great. What about you, Floyd?
Oh, Greek life, I loved it. Like you said, I was an initiative of Alpha Sigma chapter, the undergrad chapter on Southern University campus. I also served as two-time poll mark, which is the president of the undergraduate chapter. I was also undergraduate board member for our Southwest province, which I was kind of the leader for all the undergraduate members in the Southwest province. And the Southwest province consisted of Mississippi, Texas, New Mexico, portions of Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, and Arkansas. Just a really good experience. The Greek life at Southern University is huge. We pretty much have all the Divine Nine on campus. Alpha Sigma was real instrumental in community involvement on campus. We did cleanups throughout the North Baton Rouge community, did toy drives. We assisted freshmen with moving in the campus, doing move-in day. We also had a social life where we threw our parties, doing homecoming, most home games, and doing a Bayou Classic, which is the big classic rival against Grambling State University. So Greek life was a huge part of my life at at Southern University. Besides, my studies in architecture, like I said, I served as the president of the alumni chapters 2 times while I was at Southern University.
Okay. So most people that attend HBCUs always have a story or stories about whether it's faculty, staff that actually impacted their lives or that may have mentored them and maybe helped them through difficult times. Are there any faculty members or staff members that you all recall that was there for you during your college experience?
So most definitely. I am actually a 3-time graduate. My master's and my doctorate was obtained from Southern University,
Okay.
and now I'm an adjunct professor for the doctoral program. And I will say that undergrad, Karen Gant and Serena Sanford, they were younger, newer, had just a lot of motivation and inspiration. Like, you can do this. It's really hard. To put it in perspective, the class that I started with had 62 people, and only 15 of us finished on time together.
Wow.
So, you kind of lose people. Because it is one of the best programs, they have to be really, really strict about matriculation. So, like, there was a time that if you didn't pass a class, you were automatically out. And I think that, over time they found that to be really strict, so they allow you one class.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people start, but a lot of people don't finish. So having a mentor and somebody to push you really, really helped. And then Dr. Sandra Brown, who's the dean of the School of Nursing now, she's my mentor, and she helped me through my thesis for my master's, and she was a chair for my thesis during my doctoral program. So yeah, those 3 ladies had a great impact in making sure that I was successful, and just making sure that
Right.
I felt like I could do it.
Right.
And that somebody was there to support me. And that's what we try to do now.
And that's important. That's
very
important. And that's something that we don't always get when we make decisions to attend PWIs. Sometimes you kind of find yourself out there on your own. Floyd, what about you?
Oh, yes. First one would be Mr. Brian LaFleur, who was my college professor. And it's crazy. We were also ended up being co-workers. He actually helped me obtain my first job at an architecture firm in Baton Rouge, which is one of the largest architecture firms in Baton Rouge. So we worked together. I left the firm to start my own company. He's also been my business mentor as well, because shortly after I left the firm, he left it as well and started his own development and architecture company. So he's been my business mentor, and also we actually currently doing business together.
Okay.
So, and I also have one other professor, Archie Tyner. He was very influential in instructions in the School of Architecture. He kind of prepared the whole class for our secondary step in life with jumping off into the workforce,
Yeah.
making sure that we're properly prepared to succeed once we graduated from Southern University.
So Kourtni, how did Southern help prepare you for your professional career?
I think the rigor of the program made sure that, you know, because we felt like there were no second chances. You only get one chance to do this right, and at the end of the day, you're taking care of somebody's life.
Right.
And so I think the rigor of the program made it easy for me to transition into the workforce, you know, and to be a leader. I started at Our Lady of the Lake Regional Medical Center. It was one of the largest facilities there. And within a year, I was a charge nurse, and I was able to move fast. And within several years, I was back in school when I obtained my master's and became a family nurse practitioner.
Okay.
So they definitely prepare us.
Floyd, what about you? How do you feel that Southern prepared you to be the businessman that you are today?
Southern University, it prepared me with, especially you know, just in life with dealing with different obstacles, because everyone knows, you know, at HBCU, you deal with different obstacles that you have to overcome. So Southern University prepared me for that, but it was always strange when I entered into the workforce. I guess the professionalism that I presented in the workforce, whenever I presented to someone, you know, that I was, you know, an intern architect or an architect working in the workforce, they always, first thing they asked me was, did I go to LSU?
Yeah.
That was the crazy thing about that. And I was like, you know, no, I went to Southern University. Southern University has a School of Architecture program that I graduated from. So, you know, Southern University really prepared me to succeed in the workforce and to one day, you know, be an entrepreneur.
Yeah. And so, Kourtni, I know you own your own medical practice, but in addition to that, you serve as an adjunct professor at Southern University. So what inspired you to give back to the college in that way?
So as soon as I graduated with my master's, I worked for a large group of critical care physicians. I was their hospital nurse practitioner. And I learned a lot from them about billing and coding and just insurance companies. And so I went back to Dr. Brown because she was my friend and my mentor, and I was like, I don't think we're getting that piece. And that's really important because that's the other side. If we wanted to go on our own and become entrepreneurs, we're not fully equipped. And so I volunteered for over a decade and did an annual lecture about billing and coding, the do's and don'ts. Some of my previous work history involved, I worked as a surveillance utilization review nurse for Louisiana Medicaid program. So basically I made sure that all provider types followed the rules and regulations and compliance. And, you know, if you did not, you know, there's always a chance that you didn't know. We would educate you, come out, visit you, tell you the right way to do it. And then after that, we start taking money back, recoupments, and after that, you get suspended from the program. And so that helped a lot to, with me starting my own business. I had a lot of knowledge from working there. But I wanted to make sure that anyone who graduated from Southern's program, if they wanted to be an entrepreneur, they were equipped to do that. And so once I started lecturing, later, when she became the dean, she was like, you've been coming here for free for like a decade. We want you to be a part of our staff. We see the passion. And since then, since 2019, I've been an adjunct professor, and I enjoy it. I've taught on the master's level as well as the doctoral level.
Yeah, that's great work that you've done for the university. Floyd, tell me a little bit about the Luster Group and what you guys do.
The Luster Group, we're a design build firm founded in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. About 75–80% of our work is general construction. About the other 20% is program management and design build services. We service the most of the public sector and private sector. We're currently doing work for LSU, Southern University, BREC, which is the Baton Rouge Park and Recreation System. Actually, that system just won one of the highest awards for a park and recreation system. They won the gold medal award for their park system. They have over 100 parks in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we've been servicing them for over 10 years. and also LSU and Southern University. We're currently working for Care South. It's one of a large emerging medical facility in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay. Now, Kourtni, my question to you is kind of two-part. Number one, what inspired you to go into nursing? And number two, I want you to tell the viewers about your medical practice and the services that you all provide.
I think when I was about 12, my mom was like, I want you to sign up at the hospital and volunteer. And they had this program called Candy Striper. And the ironic thing about that is in North Louisiana, there's St. Francis Medical Hospital. Well, it's actually a part of the first hospital I worked for as a nurse. Yeah. It's part of the FMOL, Franciscan Missionary System. And I worked as a volunteer there as a candy striper, and you kind of got to bring newspapers to the patients, run errands for the nurses. And it was there, like I just wanted to be able to help people. I saw how even the simplest smile or bringing a remote closer to a patient, bringing ice, kind of changed their day and helped them feel better. And I wanted to feel a part of that. And I'll say that as a nurse practitioner, working in the hospital where I worked, it's about 25 miles from where my practice is. But my job for that group of physicians was once patients came out of ICU, I'd take care of getting them to the floor, arrange discharge, and make sure they had proper follow-up. And so a lot of my patients had asthma or COPD, respiratory issues, and they would make it back to the hospital before those follow-ups. And after speaking with some of them, they lived in the area, Southwest Louisiana. There was only one provider there, and he had been a family practice doctor there for years, decades. And he had become ill himself. And so that was the problem. Like, he was still trying to take care of the patients. Yeah. There was times when he just couldn't. And I just kind of went to the area, and my friend and I went there, and we talked to some of the local people, and basically we found a building, and we opened it. And my clinic takes care of patients across the lifespan from infancy through geriatrics. It's a small facility, but we service a lot of patients from about 4 or 5 different areas in several different parishes. The theme is healthcare first, your health comes first. So
absolutely. We talk about that all the time on my shows, is that your health is your wealth. It doesn't really matter how successful you are. If you're not in good health, you can't enjoy your success. Floyd, I want to ask you that if we have a high school student or parents that are watching this show that are trying to make a decision on where to send their kid to college, why should they consider Southern University?
They should consider Southern University because I feel like Southern University is the heartbeat of HBCUs. I know I might kind of seem kind of arrogant about Southern University.
Everybody that come on this show is, so don't you?
But it's the heartbeat of HBCUs, and it's when I stepped on campus, it was like a family environment. Our professors, the staff, they welcomed me with open arms. Yep. So that's what I would consider, one of the highlights of attending Southern University.
So, Kourtni, from your perspective, why should a parent consider sending their kid to Southern University?
As a parent who has a college junior at Southern University, I think that Southern teaches more than just an education. You leave there with perseverance, ambition, determination, motivation. You know what it's like to overcome the odds. Part of our freshman seminar is that you look to the right and you look to the left, because somebody's not going to finish with you, somebody's not going to finish, but on graduation day, it's like you made it. You were a part of the few that made it. And so you get more than an education. There's relationships you build that are lifelong. For both of us, relationships we built with our professors and friends there have spilled over into our adult lives, and we do business with those same people right now today. So it's lifelong relationships and just that drive to survive, to succeed.
Got you. Well, I want to say this to both of you all. The work that you all are doing in your communities is very impressive. I think that what you have done showcase all of the excellence and talent that come from HBCUs. And for that, I want to award each of you with the HBCU Lifetime Achievement Award for your continued commitment and support for historically black colleges and universities. So thank both of you all for all that you do. Thank you for being on the show. And to my viewers, thank you for watching this episode of HBCU. And remember, without you, there's no me.